I long for that day, the date that the basic necessities of life are not held against the people by a power, the date that no man rules over another man, the date that we transition from a product-oriented society to a human being-oriented society, that date that the powers that we do not love us will be no more, and that we the people can truly hold sovereignty over our own lives, not the tyrants at the top who feed at the trough of our labours. For what in love have they conquered? What in love have they brought through bloodshed and edict over others? Can they suffocate with a knee to the neck and still truthfully proclaim to love in truth? They did not love, and thus do not serve God, who is love, but instead their own power and wealth. The rich protect systems that benefit them, regardless of what they must do to exploit those below. They are in debt to the poor, for they have held for themselves more than they need, and have robbed the many. The Herods and the Caesars of our time send their legions upon the people to subjugate and brutalize. Fear not the mighty, and take heart. Justice comes not from the thrones, but from below. For lo, God is with you. He shall break the arm that swings the beating stick at you. He will cripple and make lame the one who chases you. He shall crown all who labor and suffer under the tyrant, and cast set tyrants off of their thrones. Were it so that I should be punished eternally for standing for the cause of the hated and outcast, and I can say with full truth that I loved them far more than God. And yet I know that it is not God, but man that condemns those who he sees as other to death and suffering, for condemnation is not of love, which is God, but of apathy, which is anathema to God, who is love. Damnation is not an act of love, for it implies the expiration of a promised unconditional love. The empire and its rulers are killers of men, but also of love. Anyone who is without love is a dead man, for as the flesh cannot live without a beating heart, so too is anyone without love a walking corpse. Mourn for them as you would for any of the dead, and pray for their resurrection. Be the example of what love is, that they may be raised from the dead. Remove from them their avarice, and walk with them in the ways of compassion, that they might rise again. It is therefore paramount that such systems which produce the walking and talking dead are torn down and raised. Who is more blind, the man who cannot see his own hand, or the man who will not see the humanity in his fellow man? Who is more deaf, the man who cannot hear the songs of birds, or the man who will not hear the people cry out for justice? Who is more dead, the man who lies in the grave, or the man whose heart will not beat with love for the least of these? Who is more mute, the man whose throat is crushed, or the man who will not speak on the behalf of the outcast? You ask me why I befriend the deemed dirty and less, and ask why I do not condemn them. You ask me why I spend time with they whom you deem perverse and unworthy, and I will tell you that it is our duty to serve as Christ had served, for now more than ever my faith has been amplified and set ablaze with fervor. I seek to serve the needy and the broken, and with renewed joy in my heart I long to feed the hungry and to care for the unloved.